The Zamfara kidnapping was the abduction of 279 female students aged between 10 and 17 from The Government Girls Science Secondary School, a boarding school in Jungabe, in Zamfara State, Nigeria. On the 26th of February 2021, the students were kidnapped in a raid by armed bandits and were released on the 2nd of March 2021. The incident was Nigeria's second school kidnapping in February 2021 and the third within 3 months, claiming 633 victims in total. 9 days earlier, in the Kagera kidnapping, at least 42 victims were abducted from a school in Niger State. In December 2020, kidnappers abducted 344 schoolboys in Katsina State. Holding schoolchildren hostage for ransom has become fairly common in Nigeria. Armed criminal groups, described by the Nigerian government as bandits, frequently target locals and low-income groups as opposed to foreign citizens or wealthy business people. Since most people will willingly pay to save their children, it provides a steady source of income to these groups. Involving children also gains such groups publicity through notoriety, as well as restraint from harsh actions by the government. High-profile cases have included the Chibok schoolgirls kidnapping by the jihadist group Boko Haram. In 2014, between 2011 and 2020, Nigerians spent around $18 million in ransom, with the majority in the latter half of the decade. Kidnappings have also been carried out by another jihadist group, Islamic State's West Africa province. 9 days before this incident, on the 17th of February, at least 42 people were kidnapped and one student was killed in a raid on a state school in Kagera in Nigeria's Niger State. The hostages from the Kagera kidnapping were released on the 27th of February. The raid on the Government Girls Science Secondary School in Jungabe began when more than 100 attackers armed with guns arrived at the school at 1 o'clock local time on the 26th of February 2021. According to local residents, the gunmen remained for hours in the school before departing with the schoolgirls. The gunmen also reportedly attacked a nearby military camp and security checkpoint to prevent military intervention during the raid. Some of the kidnappers were alleged to have worn the uniforms of security forces. The gunmen also blocked all entrances into the school during the raid, preventing local vigilantes and policemen from intervening. The attackers' method of transportation is disputed. Some witnesses stated that the bandits arrived in pickup vehicles and motorcycles, while others claimed that they arrived on foot. The gunmen fired shots in the air. It remains unclear whether this was to scare the local population or in engagement. One officer of the Nigeria police force was killed in the raid. About 50 children were able to escape from the kidnappers by hiding under the beds and in the toilets. The schoolchildren were taken by the kidnappers to the nearby Dangabi forest, in which many criminal groups are known to operate. A teacher stated that only 55 of the 421 students in the school at the time had been accounted for. No group has yet claimed responsibility for the abduction. Amnesty International said that the incident amounted to a war crime. One of the schoolchildren later stated that the kidnappers forced them to march through stones and thorns, carrying those unable to and hitting them with their guns and making threats that they would be shot in order to force them to move. It was initially reported that 317 girls had been abducted from the school. However, it was later clarified by Zamfara State spokesman Suleiman Tunau Anchor that some of the girls had run into the nearby bushes surrounding the school at the time of the attack and that 279 girls had been kidnapped by the attackers. The state police force announced that they would conduct a search and rescue operation, and that officers and a military contingent had been deployed to Jungabe to look for the girls. All boarding schools in Zamfara state were closed, and the Nigeria Union of Teachers and the National Association of Nigerian Students stated that they were prepared to close down schools. Residents of Jungabe created roadblocks in the aftermath of the kidnapping and attacked incoming vehicles using sticks and stones. Reporters for the Daily Trust were forced to leave the area after their vehicles were stoned by villagers, with one sustaining a head injury after a rock hit a vehicle's windshield. Nigerian President Muhammadu Buhari called the abduction inhumane and totally unacceptable, and said that his administration will not succumb to blackmail by bandits who target innocent school students in the expectations of huge ransom payments. He subsequently ordered a no-fly zone to be imposed across the state and stopped all mining activities on the 2nd of March 2021. Bello Matawalle, the Zamfara state governor, said, "I wish to assure everyone that we are fully committed to ensuring a speedy rescue of our dear schoolgirls." The event was condemned by UNICEF and Save the Child.